Hello, I am C. Paul Singh, the president of NISSMAT. I am going to moderate session today and also give my own inputs. Let me say a few words about NISSMAT. The National Institute of Security, Safety, Management, and Applied Technology was established in 1990. Initially, we organized training courses in the field of security, safety, management, and applied technology. With the passage of time, we have converted it into a think tank organization and are holding a number of sessions, interactive sessions, and also the podcasts. Renowned scholars, professionals, journalists, lawyers, army officers, management experts have appeared as our guest speakers. NISBAT progress can also be attributed to this think tank organization. Today, we are going to have a session on Bangladesh current situation and its implication and impact on India. The speaker of today's session, Major General Deepak Mehta, retired, is third generation officer in the army. He is postgraduate in defense studies and he commanded an infantry brigade during Operation Prakarma also. General Deepak Mehta has a number of medals and a number of projects initiated by him. The last one I like to mention is, but important one is, that he had constituted a cell in the army itself for certain feedback on certain issues. General Mehta is also a professor of Indian Military Academy once upon a time. Now, before I commence the session, let me introduce the subject. The political transition in Bangladesh has witnessed significant changes and significant transitions from 1971, ever since Bangladesh came into being. The country's politics has largely revolved around rivalry between major political parties, leading sometimes to political conflicts, political polarization, and growing challenges as well as the governance of the country is concerned. Political stability in Bangladesh has a direct impact on South Asia, regional security, economic, and cooperation. Public protests, students' movement, and other such changes affect the relationship as far as India is concerned. I'll now request Mr. Mehta to elaborate on the recent pushbacks and confrontation on the borders with India. General Mehta, sir.
Sir, firstly, thank you very much for introducing me, sir. Sir, as a matter of fact, the Bangladeshis have been coming into India, if you see, historically since 1971 after the war. They're not only restricted to the border state as Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, they are pan-India. And over a period of time, they have managed to get all the identifications which are applicable to the Indians, be it Aadhaar card, be it the ration card, and what have you. So, since last about 1 year, it has been decided by the government that all these people who have been infiltrated into the country, they should be sent back to the way from where they have come. So one more before the pushback, there are a large number of these Bangladesh nationals who have come into India have married girls, the tribal girls of Jharkhand. So it becomes further difficult. Now, after this, there have been instances where open borders by design of political parties, it exacerbated or gave impetus to the infiltration of the Bangladeshis. But after the SIR, which has taken place in Bengal and also in Assam, a large number of Bangladeshis have been defranchised, and they've been found to be illegal occupants of these states. So, if you recollect, just after the Bengal election, there are a large number of Bangladeshis who went to the border with a view to cross over. Now, as far as the crossing over is concerned, since April 26, April 25 to June 26, officially about 2,400 Bangladeshis have been repatriated back to the country. The very large number of people still sitting at the border, but the Bangladesh is reluctant to take them back. There have been instances where between the Bangladesh border force and us, BSF, there have been skirmishes. They have been threatening each other. But I think over a period of time, these people will be sent back. Now, in June this year, the Director General of the Bangladesh Border Force had come over to India with a view to discuss the problem with the DG BSF. Nothing very much came out of it. But the fact is that these these people from Bangladesh who have come back have to be sent back. The Bangladesh government says that it should be as per the international protocol. But when these people came into India, there was no international protocol. They just came into India. So this will take time, but I'm sure over a period of time, they will all be sent back. A large number, after the elections in Bengal, a large number of these people on their own, they wanted to go back, which have been, they are held up at the border because the Bangladeshis are very slow in getting them in. So as far as pushback is concerned,
I'd like to intervene a little bit. That this problem at the border has to be considered, has to be thought of, has to be dealt by India in a very, very cautious manner.
Agreed,
particularly because the Bangladesh now is started having some footprints of China, more footprints of China. You see, China has emerged as one of Bangladesh's largest trading partner. Yes. China has emerged as one of the major investors in infrastructure. China has emerged as a major transport and defense project sector. So with the result that China is having firm footprints, trying to have firm footprints in Bangladesh. So we have to deal with any Bangladesh situation, we mean the India, with a very cautious approach and very careful approach. Through these initiatives, the Bangladesh, though I must tell you that the Bangladesh somehow or the other has not shown any direct, not given any direct indication that we are going to be ally only with China. Because the present policy is that irrespective of the fact that the initiatives such as the Belt and Road Initiative by China has expanded economic situation also in certain respects, strategic relation footprints also in certain respects in Bangladesh. Yet Bangladesh has done has given a very cautious approach. Bangladesh has generally followed a policy of friendship with all at the moment, malice towards none. You
Sir,
see, the
may I add
friendship
a few more points to
malice
this?
towards none policy. But anyway, still, the China is having its footprints and are trying to form its footprints and form its presence in Bangladesh. Therefore, rather than complicating the issue, rather than confrontation, we should have an approach whereby we do not absolutely alienate Bangladesh. Rather than a complete shift from India to China, we should have a conciliatory approach. Bangladesh appears to have at the moment pursued a policy of, you can call it, multi-sector or multi-sector foreign policy, maximizing economic and strategic benefits from both, that is India as well as China. The future direction of the Bangladesh strategic focus will depend a lot on the domestic, political, and economic developments and association between our relationship between India and Bangladesh. Therefore, what I would like to say that though the crisis is there, pushbacks is there, migration question is there, BSF is trying to push them out that they are not the people who belong to India. While the Bangladesh border force says that you prove that they are migrants, that you bring the proper documents where you show that they are migrants to your country. Otherwise, will not allow. So, with that is that let's not create a sort of tension. This is a point we have to keep in view, and I am of the view that after some time, probably it will realize by both the countries that they cannot live without each other, and therefore I think in due course of time the situation may settle down, I mean, amicably on this border also. With these words, I like to go to another very
Sir,
important.
may I add one or two more points to what you said very, very correctly? You see, till the time Sheikh Hasina was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, we had very good strategic relationship with Bangladesh. With Muhammad Yunus having come as the interim government, he was anti-India for some reason. He started towing the line of the Chinese. Besides the Chinese, he started towing the line of the Pakistanis. As a matter of fact, the ISI, Pakistan ISI senior officers made a visit to Bangladesh. It was a very there's a strategic shift during Muhammad Yunus' time from India towards China and Pakistan. As far as China is concerned, what you very correctly said, sir, there are large number of infrastructural development which the Chinese are carrying out now. You have the port, you have the bridges, the roads which are coming up. And also China has become a very large export market for Bangladesh in terms of trade. As far as the Bangladeshis or migrants in India are concerned, they could be involved or could be taken for anti-national events within India. So it is imperative that the earliest they are found out and they sent back, because they could form a threat. Like if ISI is floating around in Bangladesh, they would definitely like to exploit these people who are here. So, as in our interest is to send them back, sir.
So, 100% correct. You have touched on the times of Sheikh Hasina also, and how she was inclined to some extent to help China. Now, I'll tell you the position has changed now as far as Hasina is concerned. Now, Sheikh Hasina today is, as you know, is a sort of unresolved core irritant between India and present government of Bangladesh. Now, her removal from power from Bangladesh has not ended the political divisions in Bangladesh. Rather, I would say it has deepened the polarization in Bangladesh itself. Her removal has deepened the polarization there. Now, next point is that in view of Hasina's presence there and the political future surrounding Hasina, that continues to generate, sort of intense domestic as well domestic debates in Bangladesh, as well as certain, it has attained certain international attention. The issue has implications for political reconciliation because what has happened is for India, Sheikh Hasina position is still important because she carries that sort of strategic significance for us when we were very close to Awami League. India was very close to Awami League. And at the same time, any prolonged uncertainty over her stay in India may influence Bangladesh India relation and also Bangladesh internal politics
Correct.
and its relation with the regional parties. That also. The opposition parties and society groups are holding different views in different places. Now, some people say that she should not be unnecessarily put to any difficulty by sending her to Bangladesh. At the same time, the resolution of Sheikh Hasina's political and legal status in India has to be considered. Now,
Sir,
I'd like to refer to Dhaka.
sir, sorry,
Well,
sorry.
I'll before I
Sir,
give up on this, that the Dhaka formally requested her extradition.
correct.
Bangladesh formally requested her extradition on 21st May, somewhere in 2026, under the bilateral treaty between India as Bangladesh. As she says that you cannot keep her with you, being it should be examined and as to how you involve yourself and how you extradite her from your country. Now, somehow or the other, although she has herself indicated just recently that she is going to go to Bangladesh in the next 2, 3 months, but the presence of Hasina as well as going of Hasina to that Bangladesh, both are very ticklish problems. Presence is ticklish because it may strain the relations between India and Bangladesh. But by sending her there, she may be put to certain, I mean, you never know how she is treated there. And then we will think that Awami League leader, who has been asked right from the start of, right from the establishment of Bangladesh, has been abandoned by us. We are keeping some other leaders, as you know, we are keeping we are giving asylum to some people. I will say Dalai Lama in India, but we are not willing at this juncture to think of giving permanent asylum to Bangladesh. You may intercede, sir. You want to put in
Uh,
something, and also
sir,
I'll request you, sir, that while
the
interceding, while sir, 1 minute, also kindly elaborate on the Testa water crisis because
sir,
this problem is again have a geopolitical edge.
sir. So, as far as Sheikh Hasina is concerned, there are two, 3 points which come into my mind. You very correctly brought out all the major issues. Firstly, that her party, the Awami League, has a very strong base in Bangladesh. But Awami League has been banned.
Yeah.
Now, she is a very seasoned politician. I'm sure she must be getting a large number of inputs. And she decided to get back to Bangladesh, as you mentioned, by the end of this year, along with her other parties. And she fears, she's made a statement to say, if I go back, I'll be put into prison, or I could also likely to be killed. But the BNP, the present government, has not accepted that. Now, even the public now you see now the present dispensation of the government, which you very correctly brought in the beginning, 1/3 of the seats held in the parliament are by the Islamists. Now they are posing a threat to the present regime. Now the public also want a government which is inclusive. Now, if the government wants an inclusive government, that means the BNP and Awami League could join hands. So it will be good for India because this pinprick that we've been having, as you mentioned, they want her extradition. This pinprick will be over. So, in hindsight, I think it is a good thing if she goes back. But if the situation, like the NCP, which is the party which is aligned to the Islamists, they want her to hang. If the Islamists get into nasty mode when she goes back, and the police and the military cannot control the public, there could be civil disturbances within the country. So it's a touch and go affair, sir.
Sir, you have elaborated on this particular, that is a Hasina's issue. I was requesting you, and I request you again, that let us discuss about the Testa River water dispute.
So,
That is a very important issue because Testa water dispute is an old problem. But it has now, with the emergence of new Bangladesh, I mean, with the emergence of new party in Bangladesh, regime in Bangladesh, the new geopolitical edge which is added to this has to be kept in view. The Testa River, as you know, is a vital sort of river that supports agriculture, that supports a sort of livelihood, and also water security, both to India and Bangladesh. The long pending Testa water sharing agreement remains one of the most sensitive issues in India, between India and Bangladesh, even today. So, Bangladesh has constantly sought a larger share of the Testa water. And India line is entirely different. Now, how do you think that this water dispute is likely to affect the relationship between the new regime and our regime? And how China would take advantage of this dispute? Can you please dilate on this?
So this Teesta water dispute has been on since 1983. It's a very old thing. Then some draft treaty was made in 2011, wherein 37.5% of the Teesta water was to be sent to Bangladesh. Now, Teesta River, if you see, sir, it's flowing from Sikkim into North Bengal and into Bangladesh. So this 2011 treaty with Bangladesh said 37.5% of the water will go into Bangladesh. But that time, in 2013, the Bengal government did not accept it. And this Teesta Water Treaty, or the agreement which was made in 2013, fell apart. West Bengal says that the water is required for agriculture, which you brought out. Besides that, so the North Bengal has a very vast tea plantation. This tea plantation extends complete North Bengal. For that, water is required. Now, the problem which has come into being is that earlier during Sheikh Hasina's time, there was an understanding that we will get involved with the Tista management system in Bangladesh. With the interim government, this proposal has been cancelled. Now, Bangladesh has gone to China. China is planning to invest $1 billion for Tista, Tista River Comprehensive Management and Restoration Project. Now,
Yeah.
you see, what has happened is that deal which was supposed to be done by India is now being handed over to China, which is just south of the border of between India and Bangladesh. Besides that,
In fact, General, China has recently expressed greater interest in supporting river management and infrastructure projects related to Tesla. So this is adding to the new geopolitical dimension in this area. The difficulty is that the the solution, how long it will take, the problem is the solution has not somehow been able, we have not been able to have a solution with them. And as it stands, the government of West Bengal and Bangladesh, through sustained political dialogue, had successfully resolved to some of the points which were there. But how it is going to emerge now, that is, I'm saying, after the change of regime in Bengal also. Can you elaborate, particularly the interest which is being shown by China?
yes, absolutely, sir. Sir, you brought up, you had mentioned about the strategic aspect. Now imagine the Chinese carrying out, helping the Bangladeshis or Tista River Comprehensive Management and Restoration Project, along with getting the airport at Lal Munir Hat, which is just 20 kilometers south of Siliguri corridor, which is again being given to the Chinese to do it. Now you see, Chinese have two major hubs, Lal Munir Hat Airport and the Tista management affair. So it is not a very happy situation for us. Now, in December, sir, we're going to have the Ganga treatment because the treatment in December this year going to be some sort of agreement between the India and Bangladesh over the Ganga River through Faraka Barrage. There is a likelihood of Bangladesh joining both Tista and Ganga project together. So let us see how it goes in times to come, sir.
Right, you are. Now, I'll come to the law enforcement agencies, the dilemma. The law enforcement agencies remain focused mostly on preventing violent unrest and criminal organizations and external activities and also illegal migrants. Then, in this case, keeping in view the problem of Rohingyas, which still continues to be there. And though directly Bangladesh may not be pushing Rohingyas into India, yet the problem continues to remain as it is. How do you see the future of solution of this Rohingyas problem between Bangladesh and India? Particularly Rohingya crisis, remains one of the most significant, I would say, humanitarian issues also, and also a security challenge, which is facing Bangladesh also. Then the question is that the security concerns include not only the human trafficking, security concerns also include some criminals coming in, some narcotic smuggling,
Absolutely,
and
sir.
also and also a recruitment of some vulnerable criminal individuals into them. So, can you expand that maintaining law and order in and around refugee camps by refugee camps of Rohingyas, as well as the vigilance being exercised with Bangladesh so that they may not create problem inside Bangladesh? How do you see the future of Rohingyas ingressing into India and attitude of India on this issue towards Bangladesh?
So, as far as the internal situation, Rohingyas are concerned, about 1 million Rohingyas have come into Bangladesh. Bangladesh wants to send them back. They cannot go back because the Arakan area from where these people have come has now come under the control of the Arakan army. Now, that is the problem. These people now, I have seen, sir, very close to where I'm staying, is the United Nations Human Rights Commission office. At times, I find these Rohingyas looking for refugee status. So I don't think Rohingyas in a very large number in India, but yes, they are there, and we will not permit them to come in future. They have been given one island close to Bangladesh. They're there. They're in a pitiable condition. There is no denying for it. But yes, that is the problem between Myanmar and Bangladesh and not with India, sir.
Uh, it is also said, it is also said that, that the lasting solution for the Rohingyas will be that addressing the root cause of the crisis in Myanmar. The root cause of the crisis is Myanmar, if it is dealt with, while at the same time ensuring regional cooperation and humanitarian support, I know. But the long term security for all stakeholders, as far as Rohingyas are concerned, is important. What do you suggest about the solution of Myanmar coming into it?
So as far as
How do you?
Myanmar is concerned, they have large number of problems. You have the Chin army, you have the Kukis, you have the Arakan army. They're all fighting against the junta. Now, junta is being supported by China. Now, the fact is, who's supporting the Arakan army and all these? Now, if you say, take your mind back a couple of months back, sir, there was an American officer who died in Chittagong.
Oh,
Now, who's supporting the Arakan army? It can't be the Chinese because the Chinese are supporting the uh, junta or the government there. It is this power rivalry between the Americans and the Chinese, and Myanmar is getting sorted out in the bargain, sir. And I do not visualize. Uh, Now you see, about 2 months back, 7 foreigners, Americans and Ukrainians, were found crossing over into Myanmar through Manipur. What was the aim of going into Manipur? From Manipur into, so it is a it is not that straight as what we like. See. There are too many parties involved, and definitely it's a power rivalry between uh, China and America. Now you see what the Chinese have done, sir. The Pakistani, as you mentioned, there's a strategic imbalance which is taking place. Bangladesh has given the Mongla port, which is about 130 kilometers out of our waters, territorial waters, as a port and also the economic zone for China. Now you have
oh,
Chinese coming to Mongla port. They are sitting in Coco Island. They are in Haban Patota. They're in Gwadar in Pakistan. They're in Djibouti. So it is by design we are being encircled by these gentlemen.
So the problems, as you see, and I also can visualize some of the problems which are there. We also find that India, at the same time, has sort of intensified its action against illegal immigration. At the same time, the Hasina's position also is uncertain. Then you have talked about the problem in the China's footprints we have talked. So keeping in view all this, how do you feel the future relationship will emerge as far as Bangladesh is concerned, particularly keeping in view the imminent requirement to have a sort of a peaceful neighbor by our side. Do you think the the political transition which has taken place in Bangladesh is going to help India in creating, or is going to go against India's help in creating coordination, and will go against creating coordination, the political transition which has taken?
Oh. So you see, the focus of our present government was look east policy. Look east policy was to have a connectivity from India through Bangladesh to Myanmar, Thailand, right up to Vietnam. Now, with this problem in Bangladesh, which has come into being, the look east policy seems to be on the hold to some extent because the connectivity problem between India and Bangladesh is not there right now. Though economically, we are helping Bangladesh to a large extent. We have given 500 tons of diesel to Bangladesh when this West Asia crisis started. We
Yeah.
have given 200 carriages, railway carriages to Bangladesh. We have
Oh,
upgraded, sir, we have upgraded the High Commissioner to cabinet minister level. We have opened the visas to Bangladesh. We are doing our best what we can. The fact is, Bangladesh should also reciprocate. The way is, yes, we have more diplomatic interaction with Bangladesh. Also make sure that the borders are secure.
so as it is, we come to the conclusion that it is very, the implications are far and wide, and as far as the problem is concerned, it is to be handled with a lot of care, because any alienation of a neighbor, so close a neighbor, when we know what is our relationship with other countries like Pakistan, I think that the political stability we have to see is there in Bangladesh. And we hope that political stability comes into Bangladesh, and then we are able to have some influence. Because otherwise, the direct impact on South Asian regional security, the direct impact on South Asian economic cooperation, the direct impact on cross-border relations is going to be very bad as far as the Bangladesh, if it remains in an unstable and uncertain state of affairs. So we only hope and wish that Bangladesh comes to have a stable government, and with the
Absolutely.
return of Hasina, it may not escalate the problem again, because there also, unfortunately, the democratically elected and historically close to India, and her going there, and the action and reaction which we are seeing against the Awami League in Bangladesh, the situation will become much more complicated as far as our neighbor is concerned. I mean, looks like with the return of Bangladesh. And how much care we have to take, because otherwise the China may have its own way. And we may say, this shift has taken place. The Bangladesh strategic shift, if takes place towards China, it will be not a good situation for India
Correct,
to
sir.
handle. Would you like to say a few words before we close the session?
So I think what you
Would like
brought
to
out
say,
very correctly, that we need to have good relationship with Bangladesh because it's a next door neighbor, and we are building bridges by in a diplomatic manner. We're giving economic support, and hopefully, and if the inclusive government comes into being as what the public wants now, what you brought out, there could well be a good, stable government in Bangladesh, which is going to be an advantage to us, sir.
I think we have come to the close of the session, discuss at length various various situations, various permutation and combinations, and how competition going on in Bangladesh, and how they are going to have an effect on our bilateral relations, and how the uncertainty in Bangladesh will have implications for India also. That's what we were discussing. So this is a
Sir,
the point is,
one point which before I forget, sir, the last passing
yeah,
out parade at the Indian Military Academy, which was about 2 weeks
yeah.
back, the best foreign
Uh,
student or the gentleman cadet was from Bangladesh.
oh,
So, as far the military aspect is concerned, we are still okay. Our chaps go for the courses there, their chaps come here. Now, imagine the best foreign gentleman cadet passing out from IMA was from Bangladesh.
you say that's an issue which is a very cordial relationship, as I say, but the anti-Indian sentiment has been growing among certain sections of the Bangladesh society, as far as I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah.
And this anti-Indian sentiment is not a good thing for us, keeping in view that the long pending issues such as Tista water dispute, border management, internal security, Rohingyas problem, Sheikh Hasina's problem, they are all going, if they are not solved gradually, but with a time frame. Gradually doesn't mean that you take years and years. Within some time frame, that may be difficult at that time for us also. It may cause certain problem. It become much more complicated and difficult because there are neighbors sitting around who would like to get into it. We mentioned how China is already trying to create footprints. Even China has suggested as a management of TISA. They came into the water also that how should you manage and all as you elaborated. So with these words, I think any prolonged uncertainty over various issues between Bangladesh and India is of course not good for Bangladesh, but it will be not good for India also. Therefore, I am of the view that let Dhaka formally request, as it is already requested for extradition of Sheikh Hasina, let Indian government decide whether she should be sent there and what issues can arise there when she goes there. Obviously, there will be certain rifts and certain conflicts in Bangladesh. With these words, I thank you very much for a very illuminating discussions we had with you. And we look forward presence of our viewers to our discussion. NISSMAT always tries to project a very, very balanced view, tries to project balanced view. At times we cannot check the speakers, but we try to project a very balanced view and historically correct view. And we hope our viewers will like and share this session with their other friends. Thank you very much. Thank you indeed.
Thank you, sir.
Dhanarwad.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure being with you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.